Today, after playing Rend for a really, really long time, having fun with it, but also kind of wanting to maybe try something different next season, and of course, knowing that HotA is definitely, Hammer of the Ancients is definitely the best like PvP build for Barbarian, we decided to whip up a build for Hammer of the Ancients today. And predictably, it has led us to really putting in some serious work in PvP. We've been popping off. I'm on the treadmill. We're chilling in the evening time. I don't usually do the guides in the evening, but I think the build is kind of making a splash enough that I'd like to go over what it is. I do want to say that the build is a little scuffy. It's a little scuffy. Like, I put this build together with what I had in my stash. I haven't really min-maxed it too much, but I'll show you what we got. I'll just show you the stats too. We're definitely playing Barb next, and I'm probably going to play this build next season because we're going to be focused on PvP. Anyway, we are looking at a little bit of attack speed. We got about 40% crit. We are under 200% crit for PvP because I believe there is a 200% cap or a heavy DR on crit damage in PvP. So we haven't quite reached that, so we could reach it if we wanted to. I am not aware of a vulnerable damage cap or DR in PvP, so we have a lot of that. Extra damage versus elites, which are players. We have a lot of damage to close. We have a little bit of damage to healthy. I'd like to actually have more of that. Would be fine. We do a lot of extra damage while fortified. We do a lot of extra damage to physical, of course. Damage with bleeding and all this other stuff is just 20%. And then we have extra 350% damage to our core skills. And some of this might be coming from our talent. I'm not actually sure. We'll look at it on the gear. I have almost 18k life. We've got 9.2k plus armor, 9.2 being 85% sort of damage reduction, and that's the cap that you can have in armor in PvP. So if you get 9.2, you're good to go. You don't want to have more than that because you're overcapping, and you could be using those, you know, resources elsewhere. My fortify bonus is 26%. Resistances don't really matter that much. I reduce all damage by about 10%. Damage reduction from elites is 9%. Damage reduction from enemies that are vulnerable is 13%. Damage reduction from close is dang near 40%. And distant doesn't really matter. Nothing hurts you from distance anyway. Everything that's going to kill you is going to do it right in your face usually right now. Damage reduction from my fortified is 25%. So what's this? Fortified bonus is 26%. Oh, that's right. That's generating more fortified. Good. So then we have almost the same amount of damage reduction while fortified, which is cool. Then 10% damage from Barb. We have 159 max Fury. We have 27% reduced Fury cost. And now this will all come out in the gear too. And Speedly, big flex for the 4 months. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Low Vuln? That's a lot. I don't know, man. It's probably balanced around. I wonder if the Vuln is DR'd as well. We'll see. We do have movement speed if I kill the elite. I could probably roll that something else, really. I don't know where that's coming from, but I don't really want that. Anyway, 26% CDR, a little bit lucky hit. Berserking duration and that. So you get the damage reduction from everything in PvP, and then armor contribution is a little bit less, I guess. But anyway, that's my stats. Let's go over the actual gear itself. So some things that I prioritized on my helmet, my chest piece, my legs are max life and total armor. You kind of want that on everything, right? You also on your helmet want CDR. You want cooldown reduction. Strength is fine here. For HotA in particular, you could try to get max Fury. That would be good, because of the way the HotA deals damage. Then we have that imprinted with basic skills grant damage reduction, which is cool. 20% damage reduction is nice. On the chest, again, you have total armor, max life. You want that. We have big damage reduction from close. Then we have +4 ranks of challenging shout. That's really nice chest piece. And then we have that granting us fortify when we overcap our Fury. They nerfed the booked codex fortify, so this talent is a little worse than it was when you get it from your book. So we have armor and all that stuff and fortify. Oh, how is overcap? I don't know. That's just what I put on there. Yeah, I just put it on there and it worked, I guess. For gloves, I like, you need crit. I like attack speed. The lucky hit on these I don't love, but these are just the gloves that I had that had +4 ranks of Hammer of the Ancients that also had crit and attack speed, so it is what it is. There's been some back and forth on whether Exploiter is working. I feel like it probably is. So I put Exploiter on my gloves. I do have a full 50% Exploiter I could put on there. I actually have 2 of them. But I wasn't sure if it was working, so I didn't put like the best one on there. But I think I will. I think I'll put Exploiter even on that. So Exploiter is awesome because you do more damage against unstoppable targets, and things like barbarians and druids, and rogues not so much, but still nice, become unstoppable and you do giga damage to them. You also have 20% increased crowd control duration, so if something does get stunned, they're gonna get stunned for a little bit longer. So, now we've also got, oh, you can overcap by upgrading for extracting. That's good information. I'm gonna have to do that. It's good info. Is that actually how that works? Interesting, because it goes up eye level. Good to know. Very good to know. So, legs, again, we have max life, we have total armor, we have damage reduction from close, and then I just have all just damage reduction in general. I would like for that to be something else that gives you more damage reduction, but it seems to work fine. So, my gear's not perfect. I think I'd also rather have potion restoring barrier, or giving me barrier rather than resource, but it's whatever. We do have Iron Skin and Grants Unstoppable. My Unstoppable isn't even maxed out, though. Like, my defense, or sorry, my damage reduction isn't even maxed out. It's 23%, so room to improve. Once again, this build is a little scuffy, but we were like 5v1ing people today, so it's like it got the job done. I can't wait to share those clips with you guys in like montages and stuff. But anyway, my boots, these are really low eye level still, so I have a lot of boots to craft and I have a lot of rings to craft, so this will be my next crafting sort of objectives. But the season's gonna end relatively soon, or sorry, the season's gonna begin relatively soon, so it's whatever. But these are working fine. They have movement speed, fury cost reduction, berserking duration, all stats. Those are excellent. It's a very low amount of all stats, so what I would like to see here is like, I think my ideal boot right now would be like max movement speed, max fury cost reduction, fortified generation would be sick, and berserking duration would be cool too. That'd be great, because I love fortify. It's really cool. I have a lot of fortify like stuff that happens with my build, like fortify damage reduction, fortify damage increase too, which is cool. But of course, whenever you're unstoppable, you get movement speed, and you can go through enemies, which is cool. To run people down or kite a little bit if you need to, that kind of thing. Okay. On weapons. Weapons are not bad. We have core, vuln, close, and strength. That's really nice for PvP. Again, you don't really want to get so much crit damage for PvP, but you do want vuln as far as I can tell. Lots of vuln, lots of close, lots of core. All that's great with strength. Strength gives you armor, gives you damage. Very nice. And of course, you have the absolutely essential Hammer of the Ancients, Quake's outward, dealing extra damage of its damaged enemies. So this is the thing that's bugged. I am an ethical HotA player. I play on controller, so my character always tries to swing at the enemy. But if you miss with the small area of effect of your original HotA, but you hit with the wider area of effect of the shockwave, it deals like five times the damage. And they fixed it, and then it was like not very good, and then they just put it back to the way it was, and so now you can definitely like, whoops-a-daisies, did I miss you? Just delete people. And it happens sometimes, but once again, I'm an ethical HotA player, so I don't seek to do that, but if it happens, you know? On my weapon, I have one axe, because I don't want that much crit damage. We could, because we're a little bit under cap of the crit damage, we could, and when I have more all stats than I need, I could switch this to a sword to make sure that I max out my crit damage. But anyway, I want like close, vuln, strength, all stats again. Like I'm not trying to get too much crit, but all my swords are like, will have crit on them, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, we have berserk ripping on this thing, but this is a good weapon. Axes are okay. The reason I like axes is because once again, I'm trying to bring down the crit damage, and added damage to healthy is actually insane for HotA, because you're just walking up on somebody at full health and you just bopping them. So pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. So that's why we got that. On this one, this is actually an old weapon, but it's still working. It's got vuln, all stats. It does have crit strike damage, but again, we have a little bit more room to get to that cap, so I may swap this axe into something else, but I do like the healthy damage too, is the thing. Healthy damage, you're always hitting somebody really hard in the opener, whereas crit damage is like, when you crit somebody, it does more, so I'm not against the healthy damage thing. But anyway, this has vuln, all stats, crit damage, and close. That crit damage could be core instead if you wanted to. So like stats, vuln, and core, and close are really good things for PvP for HotA. I do have it with Edge Masters, so that you're getting more damage when you have more rage. Very nice. Of course, we were socketed with greens for crit damage against vuln targets, which may be contributing to my cap of crit damage, right? So with this crit damage, that's how it works. I am capped, so maybe I'm a genius, you know? It's part of the deal. By the way, I noticed, I have to admit, I am getting a bit of HotA syndrome. I've been playing HotA for like half a day, and I already am now thinking that I'm a god at Diablo PvP, so just be advised when I say things like I'm a genius, you know, it's the HotA syndrome. Don't get mad at me for that, it just happens. Like I said, anybody who plays HotA for like 5 minutes thinks they're a god at Diablo PvP. It's already crept in, alright? It's just creeping in. Just want to be up front with that, want to get out ahead of it. It's already happening, so. This is a sword that I was using from my other builds, but it has all stats, core, this is my Ren's PvP sword, I think. All stats, core, strength, vuln, boom, juicy. A lot of all stats because I want my Paragons to work. That's what's going on here. I tried to not play with max two-hander attack speed after core skill crit. I tried it. I cannot get away from this aspect. This is the best, most fun aspect in the game. I have to use it forever now. It's just the rules. It's just way too good. So I do use that there. This is a very nice weapon. It's good stuff. Stats, core, vuln. Doesn't have close, but doesn't need it. It's fine. Of course, the strength is helping contribute to my armor cap too, so that's good. My rings, I haven't replaced the rings in a while. This ring needs like vuln damage on it, but it doesn't have vuln. It has close, so it's whatever. It's okay. I'm kind of spreading the damage out a little bit, which is probably fine, because vuln isn't on all the time, so. It's hard with vuln, but sometimes you don't have vuln, you still gotta do damage. But anyway. We of course have the bold chieftains on there to help us reduce the cooldown on our shouts, which are essential. We have crit chance, we have max life, we have resource generation, and close is fine, vulnerable would be great. Even though the crit damage is capped, I still like sources of crit because it does more damage, and of course it synergizes with my attack speed, which is very nice. When you're like, HotA hits hard, and when you have a lot of attack speed, it puts a lot of pressure out, which is nice. This ring still has crit damage, which I don't love, but again, we do want to hit the cap, so it's okay to have it some places. It has the essential resource generation. It does have vulnerable damage, crit strike, crit damage. So insane ring. I wish I had life on it for PvP, but it's fine. Maxed out shout skills generate 4 fury per second while active. Insane. This necklace I found today. It's a pumper. Cooldown reduction, insane. Percent strength, great, but it is kind of min-rolled, which sucks. But it does have all defensive skills, and then we rolled fury cost reduction on it, which is really nice for HotA, because I'm attacking very fast. HotA takes a lot of rage, and what makes HotA deal damage is casting HotA. The more rage you had when you casted it does more damage. It doesn't actually says how much rage did you spend on the ability. I could be correcting myself when I look at the skill here in 2 seconds. Pardon me, I re-rolled to it today, like, you know, re-rolled to it today. But anyway, Fury Cost Reduction is awesome. And then it dropped with a maxed out Limitless Rage. So I said, alright, you're good to go. You're good to go. I wish I had a little more strength on it. I could have even had movement speed, but it does, once again, percent strength when I already have so much helps me reach the armor cap and does increase our skill damage by a lot. So, kind of a nutty amulet. It just dropped with 14, with like, you know, near cap CDR and all defensive skills, and we rolled Fury Cost Reduction on it, so it was meant to be. Anyway, that's the gear. That's what I'm at right now. Again, I hope what I have is good, but what you're looking for in particular, I hope you understand. Like, amulet needs CDR, it needs defensive skills. Fury Cost Reduction is like really, really good. Helmets need CDR, then all your main like helmet, chest, legs. I like to have life and percent armor on there. That helps you get to your armor cap, okay? Important stuff. Boots are also Fury Cost Reduction and movement speed, like has to have it. Like has to have it. Then other stuff you can have other stuff on there too after that. But anyway, in terms of our expertise, we're swinging around that big two-handed mace, so we're bonking fools. We're getting the benefit of having a chance to gain Fury hitting an enemy. Berserking gives you even more, and you have increased critical strike damage to stun vulnerable enemies while berserking, which is relatively specific, but whatever. I mean, you're using the weapon, I have to. And then if you're taking two-handed axe expertise just for extra damage to vulnerable enemies. You can take polearm if you want to stun people more often, which is like, eh. I don't think that you want the bleed. I think it's just the best option. You are benefiting a little bit from one-handed sword expertise, which when you kill something, you get more attack speed, which is great. Which is another reason I might want to just put two one-handed swords on for more attack speed instead of the axe stuff, which is like you hit critical strike, have a chance to give you attack speed, which is like, eh. Probably just gonna put on a second sword here pretty soon, but whatever. Again, then we go into Then we go into all the crit damage stuff again instead of the healthy, which, I don't know. I like the healthy thing. It's cool, but I like the attack speed a lot too. Anyway, let's bump this up. Take a look at the skills. Alright, so we are opening up with Lunging Strike and going into the critical strikes with Lunging Strike, grant Berserking. Berserking is awesome. Big dam, big movement speed. This kind of helps you chase people down, which is cool. You have to go through the air. Then we are going into Hammer of the Ancients, of course. You have 9 ranks in that. You put 5 in, you get 4 from your gloves. It gives you more Fury for 5 seconds for each enemy damaged by HotA. Like up to 10 times, so that's your Fury generation. Rend used to give you Fury whenever you hit something, but now you just get all sources of Fury generation are increased by that. And here, Hammer of the Ancients deals more damage for each point of Fury you had when using it. So, not how much Fury you spent on it, how much Fury you had when using it. So that's where Fury cost reduction is huge, right? Because you can do more instances of that. And this scales with Edge Master like crazy. Makes sense with Limitless Rage too. Kind of wild. I do have 2 points in Pressure Point. I am honestly thinking about taking out Pressure Point and putting 1 more into this. 6 enemies are nearby. Your damage bonus is increased by an additional 10%. I might actually just go ahead and do that right now, because in, like, if you're dueling somebody 1v1, that's one thing, but a lot of times I'm trying to fight people in mobs. So getting Giga Dam in Outworld PvP is good. And Pressure Point, let's just be honest, it never procs anyway, so let's just be honest with ourselves. It just literally never procs. I might just unspec it entirely. Put it in max HP or something. I just never can rely on that. You're better off waiting the 20 seconds for Exploiter to fall off and to reapply. But anyway, there's that. You can take Pressure Point if you want to. I think it's a fine thing to do. I'm just annoyed with it, so I'm not doing it. I do recommend taking 1 point in max life to get to damage reduction against elites, because players are elites, and that's 9% damage reduction against players, which is awesome. I'm putting 1 point into Rallying Cry and putting it into Tactical Rallying Cry to give you Fury and additional resource generation. It does have 4 ranks in it because it is +3 defensive skills, right? Oh, I already maxed out movement speed. You better believe it. And same thing with Iron Skin. You're putting 1 point in Iron Skin to get the talent, the ability. You're getting extra barrier on that bad boy. And then you're getting 10% of the barrier's original amount as life per second. So again, Iron Skin, I have a tendency to just spam it like everybody does. Ideally, you want to use it when you like take a big chunk of damage and you're low health. You use a barrier, you heal yourself up a little bit, you potion behind that. That's the best way to do it. So, but yeah, it's not a long cooldown and it's a pretty big barrier. So, pretty nice, pretty nice. And then we have Challenging Shout, which is rank 8, giving you a lot of damage reduction, 54% damage reduction for a pretty long time, and more life and Fury whenever you take damage. Very nice, because you go this route with it. In terms of the other shout, I go for War Cry, Triple Shout, classic sort of archetype here. It's giving me Berserk, it's giving me now more damage. I was thinking about that today. I've been fighting people in crowds of like players and enemies today, so Power War Cry is what I'm going for now. We're getting the longer duration on the shouts. We're getting 3 out of 3 shout heal, taking 3 out of 3 movement speed. My other amulet had a movement speed on it, so I've lost some movement speed today, but it didn't feel too bad because we have the sprint boots. I should have mentioned that about the sprint boots. I do like the sprint boots. I like the dip and dodge. Attacking reduces the cooldown of boots thing is cool. Multiple or dodge, reduce the cooldown dodge is cool. Multiple charges of your dodge is cool, but I think the sprint lets you like create some distance, get your shouts back up, and then go back in. It's kind of nice. Damage reduction while berserking is really only to get access to Fury generation while berserking increase, which is nice. We are going into Pit Fighter. You deal more damage against close, take less damage against distant. We are going into Thick Skin, so that's another source of fortified generation, of which we have 3. We have the Aspect, we have Warbringer, which we'll talk about in a second, we have this. Then we have Counter-Offensive. While you have Fortify for max life, or 50% of your max life, which is like all the time, you do more damage, just a great source of increased damage. We have a lot of Fortify generation in the build, so I like that. We got Wallop. Some people love Wallop. You can put more points into Wallop. I don't know if I'm going to, though. I could put like, you know, the 2 points I took out of Pressure Point, instead of putting it into the max life and the shout, I could put it here for more damage against Fulton targets. But I think I get 10% more damage from the shout, 1 point in the shout, and then I can just get max HP instead of that, so I think I just do that instead. But of course you want concussion. I've been looking forward to using this talent. I tried to use it as Rend and did, and it was fine, but it's a stretch in Rend. It's completely natural as this. Raid Leader heals you too. Common question. It heals you too. Try it. Have you tried it ever? It heals you. It's cool. At least I think it does. it certainly seems to. But yeah, this gives you Lucky Hit. Gives you a chance to stun, and it gives you even better chance to stun when using a two-handed bludgeoning weapon, which is great. You're taking 1 point in Tempered Fury. Now, arguably, I could take out the 2 points I just put in something else and like max HP, and I could get myself even more maximum Fury, which could be good. I'll consider that. I will consider that, but I'm not sure. What we do want for sure is Invigorating Fury. Healing 9% of your max life for every amount of Fury spent. It's good. And then we come all the way down here and grab Unbridled Rage to deal extra damage with your core skill at the cost of more Fury cost. So there's that. So, in terms of skill assignment, I guess, just to show you, I am using my dual wield to lunging strike, and I am using my obviously my big hammer to hammer. Now, I do like the idea of using the two-handed mace to, even as your lunging strike, to just to stun people. But I also love the attack speed of the one-handers. It's a faster attack to lunging strike with one-handers, and if you kill something, you get your one-handed sword attack bonus. Or if you crit something with the axe, you also get your attack speed bonus potentially. So, a lot of attack speed. Attack speed with HotA is nuts. It's really fun. But I may go back to dual wield swords for even more attack speed on killing a mob. So that's kind of cool. I feel like killing a mob is more reliable than like critting and then lucky hitting a little bit of attack speed. You would get like 30% attack speed if you kill something with 2 one-handed swords. So I might make that adjustment just so you guys know. Okay, Paragon. My Paragon is the most scuffed part of this whole build. If you'll notice, I only have 4 glyphs that I'm using, and I only have 5 boards that I'm using, so bear with me here. Bear with me. I threw this together today. I don't use a planner for my Paragon, I just wing it. But here's what we ended up with, okay? I might take this out. I might take this out for something else, because I don't know where that movement speed after killing elite's coming from, but I don't really want that. Anyway. There was damage to elites that I think I dropped that at some point, but we're going to find out. Anyway, let's go through it. We should have a highlight about this, but because it's a guide, we'll go through it. So, I go up here to grab the physical damage of max life. I'm grabbing a couple extra max life nodes in here just because, like, my build just allowed me to do that, and a max life is sort of an easy place for me to put points that are just, like, I can't get to anything else. This is going to just be fine for now kind of thing. We also grabbed max life and armor here with a little bit more max life. I went ahead and planted my territorial down in here, grabbing dexterity in the radius to have extra damage to close enemies and less damage taken against close enemies, which is good. We passed up to this board, which is the weapons master board. Went this way. I did go ahead and grab the physical damage. We put Marshal here for the 50 or the 40 strength, and the range gives me buffs to all of the nodes. It's kind of troll that I took out any sort of magic node here, just due to the fact that they're getting buffed, but I didn't need the node here. I didn't need the extra armor. What I needed was something else, so I took it out. Maybe I'm trolling. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, we put that there. Grabbed Iron Strength for extra armor there. Grabbed Raw Power for extra physical damage and strength there. Those are mostly just to get the bonus there. Anyway, I did move up into here to get Hunter Killer, extra damage to elites, and movement speed after killing an elite. This one, I could take this out, but I guess this is where the movement speed's coming from. I don't mind, but I do like 33% damage to elites, because that's damage to players in PvP, provided that's working properly. Then we have more damage to elites there. Yeah, I could shave that point off and put it in, like, life somewhere. I could put it in armor at some point if I decide to change my build around and my strength drops, something like that. This would give me, like, 100 armor if I put it there, but I don't need it right now, so I'll think about it. We could put it in max life, 2% max life, maybe not that big of a deal. I could put it in Fury on kill. Anyway, let's not get too sidetracked. Paragon's pretty cool. There's a lot of little teeny tiny adjustments you can make along the way, but that's what I did here. Picked up those 3, grabbed some blues around it, moving on. This is the Warbringer board. You absolutely want Warbringer. For every 75 Fury you spend, you gain 12% of your max life as Fortify. Huge. Mandatory. Really good. You also get to get some other cool stuff, too, because You do like max Fury as HotA, because we saw that the more Fury you have when you use the ability, the more damage it does, so more max Fury is good. Yeah, players are elites. I hope it works against players. I hope so. We are picking up maximum Fury, Fury on kill, maximum Fury. I wouldn't mind one more Fury on kill. So 4 max Fury here, and then another max Fury there, so a lot of max Fury. We are coming over here to grab the max life, not because I love the fire resistance, but it's like a couple points gives you 6% max life. So you're coming down this way anyway, so you just go grab some more max life. Kind of nice, just being tanky. Then you come over here to get the fortify stuff, more damage while fortified and fortify generation. Very nice to help counteract the fortify little codex aspect fix. It's just good to have fortify generation anyway, so you get more fortified damage and more fortified generation there. Now we had to come down this way because we were doing that anyway, but I wonder if I could just come up this way and just connect down here instead of going all the way around. But that might be an optimization. I might be the exact same thing. Anyway, we did grab the maximum Fury here, max life there, with more max Fury and max life. So I like those two things. Then we came down here. I don't know if that's a better optimization or not. I'll think about it. We came down here to the Decimator tree to come down and pick up a glyph socket. A big damage while fortified. This is a massive amount of willpower in this radius, so I put a bunch of damage while fortified there. We could switch it with like some other willpower thing. Like, I don't know. What do I have any or do you even have any other willpower things? No, this is fine. We did grab the vuln damage and strength. We did grab the damage reduction from vulnerable enemies, and we did grab the vulnerable damage thing and armor with a couple blues in that little range. And then we passed over here to the Bone Breaker board, where we did not even grab the glyph. All we did was grab fortify damage reduction along with damage reduction while fortified, sources with fortified generation. We grabbed damage while fortified and damage while healthy, which is cool. The Imbiber glyph would be something I need to look into. I didn't level it though. But the other glyphs that are good, by the way, just while we're here, are down here. Mortal Draw is very good. Swapping weapons has a chance to critically strike, and weapon and abilities that have a weapon swap deal more damage. That's good. And then Imbiber is also very interesting, where you deal more damage while you're healthy, and you heal more with potions. Also very cool. Very interesting, but I didn't use those. All I did was come in here to grab the fortify stuff, and then we just came down here for max life and armor with a little extra max life. Not grabbing armor because we're already armor capped, but yeah. So fortify generation has been important to me. Doing more damage while fortified has been important to me. We have some room to shave some stuff off if we wanted to try to get that glyph, but despite this being a little scuffy, it is interesting and potentially not bad. But I feel like I could probably path to the next area through here and save some points instead of coming down here, and I could just quickly dip into this instead of all this. So I might optimize that way at some point. But that's pretty much it with my little HotA Barbarian build for now. Plenty of room to improve, but it was putting in some pretty serious work today in PvP, and I think that you guys will see in the videos that we post of that what I was talking about. But that's a fairly comprehensive look at my version 1 respec to HotA Barb, which again has room for improvement, but kind of nutty. A little bit of max life that we had, it looks like has bumped my life up even more to 18k. That's cool. And I could probably put another 2% life on, which would bump me up even a little bit more. So pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I probably will look into that that little bit of Paragon adjustment, but it is kind of annoying because I have to undo all this and undo all this. No, yeah, it would only be undoing all this to fix this, but it might be worth. Anyway, that's good for now. That's the build as it stands. Pretty juicy, pretty nice. Hope you guys enjoyed. This will be up on YouTube, of course. If you guys are watching YouTube right now, thanks for making it through the whole video. Make sure you show it some love, pump it up, and come tune into the stream where we're kicking butt on Diablo. Looking forward to season 1 of Diablo 4. It'll be fun.